Hey guys, welcome back to the GSTL. I am Wolf, with me is Keldor, and we've had a pretty dynamic series. So far, MVP does take the lead 2-1, but it's been pretty back and forth.
Yeah, so far it looks really like Team MVP is a little bit dictating the pace of the game, but in the end, TSL having a really strong lineup and sending out Shine shows that they want to take the next game with the ZVZ here. Monster he has proved to be a tough opponent against Terran, but will he be able to withstand the ZVZ of Shine?
That's what we're going to find out. ZVZ does get a little bit weird. The map is Ohana that he's chosen, a somewhat smaller map, and also the ramp is pretty easy to defend here, I feel, in ZVZ, if you get the Spine Crawler up early.
So Shine being a pretty strong opponent here, and this kind of reveals already the strategy of TSL, I feel. From now on, there should be only Zerg players. It would surprise me to see Send. Well, I don't know. Thinking about it, do you think we might actually see Center instead of Symbol?
No, not instead of Symbol. I don't know, actually.
Because there's only, after Shine, there's 2 players left, and I feel you have to play Young. You have to. But do you play Center or do you play Symbol? Symbol is of course really strong, but Center seems to do really well, and he's of course a Terran player, which gives you a few options.
Well, right now in the chat, Shine says he's a little bit scared of his opponent. We'll see how he does here. The map is Ohana. This is the GSTL with Keldor on board.
Top right of the map, we have our TSL Zerg player after Ragnarok on pole. It's the 3rd player for Team TSL. It is
TSL Shine!
Unlike the singer of the song, he's actually just really family-oriented. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's disciplined.
He's up against the Zerg opponent in the ZVZ, starting to the bottom right after defeating Polt as the MVP player. It is
MVP Monster!
Now, if you check under your bed right now, you'll notice that there's nothing there because he's actually in the GSL studio.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Detective Wolf just solved the case.
Yeah, I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute, it can't be 2 places at once. I looked behind me, I noticed he was there for sure. It wasn't just a video shop.
Yeah. Unless he can bridge space. Have you seen the movie Jumper?
Yes. That is an interesting one.
I want to have that ability.
Also, it's possible he has a clone, or that everything we know about science is not true.
Maybe.
I mean, there was a time in which people believed the Earth was the center of the universe. And we all know now that's not true. We also once knew Pluto was a planet, and now it's been reclassified. Think about that. Does that mean that it's never really a planet, or did we just changed it? What does that mean exactly?
I'm tempted to say something like we all believe that what's in the Bible is true, and then suddenly they discovered like the theory of Darwin, but I feel like all the Americans are getting mad at me.
Well, I won't.
That's good to know.
I'm with Darwin, man. He and I...
Your pals?
If he were around, man, I would totally have long conversations with him about monkeys. And other
Didn't he start with the birds?
Yes.
Wasn't it the bird thing with that island?
Yes. The island
started.
I can't remember what island it is for some reason, but he did a lot of studying. He was a very prominent figure.
You think?
Yeah. You've probably heard of him.
Once or twice.
Yeah, you may have studied his teachings.
I had to deal with that in school, yeah. Well, anyways, this time we have a bit of an evolution going on, but it's the Zerg evolution.
Yeah.
With pretty standard builds. Nothing like too fancy. We don't have an early pool here for one of these players. We don't have a pool first play. Both of them starting with the hatch first and then transitioning. The gas was a little bit faster for Shine, but in the end it all comes down to the same thing. The speed for Shine will be a bit faster than for Monster, but it's probably not going to matter too much. That little bit of a timing window that Shine has here should not decide the game.
I just started thinking, I'm like, how do people who don't believe in evolution explain Pokemon? How do you explain that? Clearly evolves. There is no supernatural power there. The Pokemon just evolves. There's actually a guide you can look up what level they evolve at, in fact. It's pretty straightforward. Bailing Nest comes down first for Shine, and he's getting a few hits off on this Overlord, but the Queen is going to give up and get a little bit disillusioned after the Overlord goes over the cliff. She's like, well, there's no way I'm chasing that.
Shine already starting with his Spinecrawler here as well, so he wants to play a bit defensive. The Bailing Nest most likely not going to be used for any kind of aggression.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you have all these Zerg players in Team TSL, and their styles differ quite a bit. Hyun is one of those Zerg players that really likes to put on early game pressure with a lot of Zerglings.
And as Legend just highlighted, the Observer's path on the way out did not see the Bailing Nest. It's not too important, but it does mean he's a little bit more defensive. You do have two Banelings morphing right now, and of course they are just defensive, as you said, back at home. And meanwhile, the same can be said of the MVP Zerg, Monster, keeping him on his ramp, in fact.
Monster played a few Zerg versus Zergs in the recent past. He played in the preliminaries against Suxcree.
Against who?
I don't know. Suxcree?
That's a weird idea.
Whatever. Against another Zerg, and he won with a 2-0. But he was defeated by Ragnarok, another TSL Zerg, not too long ago. So a couple of these games that he played against TSL might give Shine a few insights here of how he likes to approach this matchup. But now we see both of them still with fairly the same strategy going into lair, and this could be when we see a bit of a differentiation between the two of them. Maybe one of them heading into the Mutalisk tech while we see a infestation pit for the other one.
Yeah.
But so far, both of them like playing this really.
Not a lot of planning into that one, I feel. Not so much. He just kind of walked up there. He killed a tumor, and he traded one Baneling for one Baneling, so. Damaged the Spine as well, but that was not a good trade.
Shine with a Spire. Let's see what Monster is going to do here.
I feel like he may also go Spire.
If we have a Spire versus Spire battle, yep, there it is. Yeah. Both of them for the Spire, and this is now going to be pretty interesting. It's all about the gas. If you're a Spire versus Spire, it's about gas. It's about if you can establish yourself a third base to get gas number 5 and number 6. Can you target down your opponent's extractors? This would be like the best case scenario, because then you limit his ability to get Mutalisks and upgrades. And also, how do you approach it? Do you go for Mutalisks right away? Do you try to get your upgrades first? We've seen armor upgrades being started very early to get a bit of a lead.
This is huge. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't target down the drone. I guess he thought he could win the Ling battle, but he does not. And now the drone will be able to restart the hatchery. But now he's going to start his own hatchery back at home, so they're on even timings, and he forced to cancel that. That's really nice for him. So that's another good thing for, of course, Monster here. But he's also getting +1 for his roaches, so his transition is going to be a little bit faster, but he's making a few more Banelings. And like you said, this is all about the gas, so every little thing he uses gas on, like +1 for his roaches, is one less Muta he's going to have. A lot of the time, a lot of this type of Muta versus Muta battle, if they do fight, which is rare, a lot of it comes down to confidence. Are you actually willing to fight that fight? Because if you accept the fight, then there's no turning back.
7 Mutalisks are being built for Shine while we have a bit of a battle here on the ground with Ling versus Banelings, trying to make sure that
Baneling?
Ooh, if he can force a cancel here, that would have...
Oh, what was that Baneling thinking?
That base has to be cancelled.
If that Baneling had come over here, things may have been a little bit different. He may save it with these two, though. Not with good micro.
No, with good micro, he shouldn't be able to. If he saves it, it looks like he's able to save it, and this is huge because MVP Monster was able to cancel the third of his opponent to the top right.
Now the Mutas have been spotted first, of course, by Monster with his Overlord, so he knows, and he's actually going to go for a Ling run by to the third base again. He had to transfuse on that Queen, but he actually decides to fight with his Mutas with it. Oh, this is pretty smart, using the Queen to help out his Mutas.
This is a really interesting spot right now for Shine to be in. His third was cancelled. He had to retreat. In the Harvester count, he's behind with 14. Monster is in a great position here to take this game. He's playing really well in the Zerg versus Zerg.
He's also getting +1 Carapace for his Mutas.
Yeah, and he's justifying the confidence that his team had in his abilities. If Shine loses this, Team MVP is up ahead with a 3-1.
Yeah, he's got a massive lead here right now. The only thing he doesn't have a lead in is Mutalisk, but that's going to become less and less important as the Infestation Pit comes out. We may see some Spores laid down. It's not necessarily going to be the case, but the Infestation Pit has actually already been started for Shine rather than Monster first.
Yeah, Shine started his Roach run and is now also starting the Roach speed, so he wants to go for a transition. But yeah, at this point, a 30 supply lead in a mirror match for the MVP player. That's huge. That's really huge.
Yeah. Knows he keeps his queens on top of his Mutalisk at all times.
He has the extra gas. He has the third base and the gas. This is going to help him so much in this game.
Yeah, and he decides he wants to commit to more Mutas.
Look how many he builds. He will be at 21 Mutalisks against 13.
But remember, with one fungal that can change everything, the Pathogen Gland is on the way. Both players are going to have +1 for their Infested Terrans coming out very soon, and I feel like this game could have gone differently for Monster, but he really wanted to commit to the Mutalisk, and we'll see if that works out for him, because it's a pretty big risk considering that it's all about that fungal potentially.
That's true. If there's a good fungal, and a good chain fungal that is, then this game might change, but now we have a 50 supply lead, and this is very scary for Shine. This is really scary. His big problem was that he didn't kill the base at the bottom right, bottom left. He didn't kill this third base. He really tried, and he tried hard, but while Monster took down the hatch to the top right, Shine just wasn't able to force a cancel, so suddenly Monster was ahead in economy, who was ahead in army as well, and now he's trying to put on the pressure.
Yeah, he's going to force a fight here in the third base with all of his Mutas together. There's one Spore Call here. The second one is actually going to die.
He needs more. He definitely needs more Infestors.
But the Fungals, he needs to split his Mutas, and he splits them really well.
This gives him a bit of an edge to attack with his own Mutalisk, though. He needs to protect this third base. If the third base goes down, I don't think that Shine has any chance.
Oh, and a run by into the main as well with 4 Zerglings. He's going to be able to kill some units there. I can't believe he let the base go, but he didn't really have many opportunities to defend it.
But now Monster doesn't have to fight. Look at how well he controls his Mutalisks here. He splits them so well, there are just not enough Infestors. Now we have this Muta battle, while half of the Mutalisks are heading out and chasing these Infestors one by one, taking them down. This is Monster completely dominating Shine.
GG, he brought the queens, he was transfusing. Even though both players have an even Muta upgrades, it was too much. That was a really interesting game, and he decided to commit with the Mutas. It was a very bold choice, but it worked out for them in the end.
I was really skeptical about the decision to send out Monster instead of Sniper or DRG. Not because he's a bad player, no, not at all, but because I thought that Sniper and DRG really are a little bit better than him. But he took down 2 opponents, he did all that he had to do, he justified the trust and the faith that his team had in his abilities. That was really well played. Takes down Pole and Shine, what more can you ask for?
Yeah, exactly.
Really well done by Monster here.
Taking a lead that MVP seems to be very happy about at this moment, and they should be.
They still have Keen on the bench, they have Sniper on the bench, they have Tails on the bench, so many good players.
Sniper looks a little bit stressed out. He's like, am I just not going to get to play today? That makes me a little bit worried.
Yeah, Entombed Valley is our next map.
So will we see a Pross? Will we see Value?
No, there's no chance of Value playing today. I would bet money on that.
I agree, but the other reason Entombed Valley makes sense is because if they use a Pross there themselves, like Tails, then they can't use Entombed Valley against one of the Zerg players.
You have 2 players left. One of them has to be Hyun. And the other one is either Symbol or Center, depending on how much Center trained against Zerg, how well he feels. Symbol is, of course, really, really strong and could play a ZVZ here, but yeah, this is no Value. I can't see that happening.
No, I can't see it either. So I think they're just using Entombed Valley so that they can block their own Zerg players.
Hyun is walking behind us. He looks a little bit lost, actually, walking from left to the right and back.
There, yeah.
The bathroom is...
he's not. Now you got to turn a little bit to the right. Now he's going to talk to the Creamcaster. I'm like, you can't talk to them right now.
I'm not quite sure what he's doing.
Yeah,
he looks confused, doesn't he?
I'm like, Hyun, man, there's a Creamcaster working right now, dude. You can't talk to them.
Hyun, you've been here before. You know the deal.
He just doesn't want to be on the booth for the camera shot. I don't know.
Symbol. It is Symbol, so we won't see Center today. Even though he did really well in Code A and is a bit on a roll these days, he will not appear in today's Team League. Unless TSL decides to not use Hyun, which I think is impossible.
It's the chance of that is And pretty much as good as Choya coming out as the final player on a team that's not even his. Well, here are Symbol stats, of course. 15-3, ranked 15, and a Code S player. Obviously, one of the best Zerg players in the world. And his results definitely show it. He's actually just sitting in the lobby right now going nuts. I'm not sure he wants to wear his hands out too much. What is he doing in there? He's going crazy.
Yeah, just practicing a little bit, testing his hotkeys. You always have the situation where a player starts the game and realizes that his hotkeys don't work.
Yeah, it's always funny when that happens.
Yeah, because all of them prepare before they go into the booth.
Well, I guess I would say most of them do. Some of them certainly, at the very least, don't really check what's going on.
And soon Valley will be the map for the next CVZ. Monster up against Symbol. He played well against Shine. We might see an early pull here. On a big map like this, you can go for an early pull, can hope that your opponent starts with a 15 hatch. Yeah. This is a lot about the openings in the mind games.
Look at how good Symbol's win ratio is. Average wins of 2.14, and all of his win rates are at least 50% no matter what time he comes out. Never come out first, though.
He is the legendary player who was able to go for the reverse all kill.
Yeah, if he comes out last, he always wins.
And this reverse all kill was the most epic match that I've ever casted in the GSTL. That was so crazy. Guys, if you have not seen it, 2 seasons ago, right? Check the VODs out. Look them up on GOMTV.net. It was LGIM versus TSL. It was crazy. And here's the invite for Symbol. Going to join the lobby in just a second. Monster is ready.
Yep, Symbol is now in the lobby. And he said he's got to go to the bathroom.
Oh.
He's like, if I go to the bathroom really fast, it's okay. That's exactly what he just said in the chat. I think actually is going to go. He's been granted permission, so we actually can talk to you guys for a little bit longer.
Exactly, and I think we're going to see Symbol just run to the bathroom behind us. Monster, even though he has a 25% win ratio, seems pretty relaxed on the other hand.
Yeah. And Shine was scared of playing against him. He said so in the chat.
Monster has every reason to be confident here. He already won 2 games. That's all that his team can ask from him.
Yeah. And, I mean, the confidence you've got going into a map like this is pretty small, too. I think an early pool is something that I would like to see from Monster on this map.
We can actually spoil you guys a little bit. We talked to Team MVP earlier, and their idea was if the first player would have lost. Originally, they really thought about sending DRG out second. But then with how the scores went in the first game, they decided to go for Monster instead. So they had a little bit of a different plan here. DRG was already preparing in the booth, but they decided to go for Monster instead. So I feel like we could see DRG a little bit earlier today, but Keen on the other hand still sitting on the bench. And you always have Tails. And what's the one matchup that Tails will have prepared for today? Of course, the matchup against Zerg.
Yeah.
With this many Zerg players on the TSL bench, he definitely has 1 or 2 strategies.
He can definitely snipe somebody. And I think probably the 2 players he's expected to play against the most were probably Shine, or rather not Shine, Symbol and Hyun. Shine already dead, so he doesn't have to worry about that if he was preparing for such a player.
Pick a map like Muspelheim, like Grand Lagoon, one of those maps that you expect to be a little bit later in the team match.
Yeah, maybe another map that also very few players will maybe know your strategy on.
Yeah.
That's something that we've seen in the past as well on some of these maps.
Exactly.
Did he come back yet?
I do not know.
There he is.
There he is.
He's coming.
And now he's on camera. Now he starts running.
Yeah. They yelled at him, man. They're like, listen, get over there.
Move.
Yeah.
Fast.
Well, I got really scared when you did that. I was like, are you going to emphasize my point, or you have some other like really big secret point you wanted to add?
Not
now
really.
Shine runs to go to the bathroom as well.
They have this team thing going on.
Yeah.
Should have gone together.
It's like, tag, you're it. Now you got to go to the bathroom. Haha.
Yeah. They take turns. If there were goals, they would all go together.
I think Polt just went in there too, man.
Polt?
Yeah.
He also went to the bathroom?
He's going to the bathroom too, man. They're having a party in there. Don't they want to watch the matches?
That's like a weird party.
Yeah, bathroom parties can be strange. I always have this weird thing about the sanitation. I'm like, I don't know why we have a bathroom party. Why don't we just have a party at my house? Or maybe we could go out?
You had bathroom parties?
Yeah, of course, man. Bathroom parties. It's always a little bit weird. You got to make sure it's a party with a big sink where you can put like the pizza and stuff on it, because it's one of these bathrooms with a small sink. Where do you put stuff? Where do you put the party? You put them on the ground in the bathroom? That's gross. Come on.
Bathroom parties? Really?
Yeah, bathroom parties, man. There's a lot of private rooms, actually. Especially in the female one.
I heard about a slumber party, but a bathroom party? That's new.
Yeah, no bathroom parties or slumber parties. Because usually the bathroom facility will probably close at some point.
Well, slumber parties are way better because you have pillow fights, but there have to be some girls there. The game starts, though. This is another ZVZ at the GSTL.